On an important mission in the middle of the Iraqi desert, we see Matthews, a skilled American sniper, alongside Eyes, his spotter and assistant. They are camouflaged in some bushes, with the aim of finding and killing an experienced enemy sniper who killed all the Americans in a camp. The two observe the area for several hours, and seeing no movement or sign of the possible enemy sniper, Sergeant Matthews decides to walk to the camp to check what happened while Eyes provides cover from a distance. Upon reaching the camp, Matthews assures him that they are completely alone, and the two begin joking over the radio. The man continues to advance, and after a while asks Eyes to keep an eye on a wall in front of him, as it is his only blind spot, but the man cannot do so because his vision is blurred. Suddenly, Matthew approaches a truck and sees that its crew has been killed with shots to the head. The soldier knows how difficult it is to hit those shots while moving, so he has a bad feeling and looks around to see if there are any enemy snipers. Eyes is worried and asks Matthew to get out of there, but that's when the boy is shot in the leg, leaving him incapacitated. Eyes puts on his helmet and quickly goes down to help his comrade, moving in a zigzag pattern and unpredictably to make it harder to shoot him. As he approaches Matthew, the soldier is shot once in the backpack, and seconds later once in the leg, so the boy runs to the wall and jumps over it to take cover. With the wound near his knee, the man uses his rifle to crawl to the corner and see his friend, who asks him over the radio to notify the base of the situation. First of all, Eyes decides to take his tourniquet and apply it to his leg to stop the bleeding, noting the time he put it on a piece of paper. Then, the man stretches out and reaches for his backpack, from which he takes out a powerful long-range radio and requests immediate extraction from the base. Unfortunately, the first shot Eyes received hit the radio antenna, so the device is not working and they are cut off from communication with base. Sergeant Matthew knows he must do something or he will soon bleed to death, so he tells his friend that he has to try to shoot him, but neither of them knows where he is hiding. Eyes then begins to carefully make a hole in the wall, removing some bricks so he can insert his binoculars and find the enemy sniper, but as he is about to finish, part of the wall collapses, crushing his hand and injuring his finger. When he manages to make the hole, Eyes looks through it and tries to communicate with the sergeant, but the man has lost a lot of blood from the shot and is unconscious. When the adrenaline of the moment passes, the man begins to feel the intense pain of the wound, so he bites a piece of cloth and digs into the wound with his knife to try to remove the bullet. Once he has done so, Eyes takes some gauze to bandage the wound and quickly loses consciousness. The boy wakes up a short time later to the sound of a voice on a short-range radio. Eyes puts on the headset and quickly alerts the base to his situation, indicating that he needs immediate evacuation with medical assistance. The soldier on the radio asks for his location, and after a while asks him to stand up and fire into the air so they can find him. Eyes is confused, because if he follows the orders, the sniper could easily kill him, and that's when he notices that the soldier on the radio has a strange accent, realizing that it's all a trap. Eyes tells him that he is not going to be fooled so easily, and that is when the man reveals that he is the Iraqi sniper who shot at them a while ago, who managed to tune into his A's radio frequency. The soldier looks through the scope, wondering where he could be hiding, and then makes some calculations on the ground, concluding that the sniper could be in a distant container about 1,500 meters away. Eyes and the sniper talk for a while about their lives, and soon the Iraqi asks him about Dean, a soldier friend of Izay's who recently lost his life on one of the missions. Eyes is surprised and asks him how he knows about Dean, but the sniper doesn't answer and asks him to tell him more about him. The boy is visibly saddened by the death of his comrade Dean and tells him he won't talk about him. The enemy asks him to cooperate and reveals that he still needs him alive, indicating that both the first shot at the radio antenna and the second at his knee were calculated and intentional. Eyes is confused and doesn't understand why he hasn't killed him yet, but the boy has no intention of giving up. At one point, while the sniper is talking, Eyes hears strange sounds in the background, and looking through his scope, he concludes that the Iraqi is camouflaged in the pile of rubbish next to the container. The sniper continues to ask him about Dean, but poor Eyes feels terrible every time he remembers him. After a while, the boy comes up with an idea that could help him find the enemy's exact position, so he makes a kind of mannequin with his rifle, jacket, and helmet, and shows it over the wall while he looks through the scope, with the intention of getting the enemy to shoot at the doll so he can see him. Unfortunately, the helmet falls on the other side of the wall and the sniper laughs at him. Time passes and the wind begins to blow harder, creating a sandstorm that makes it difficult for the sniper to see. Eyes takes advantage of this to quickly leave cover, moving to the position of one of the fallen soldiers to take his radio and warn the base of the situation. Eyes grabs the soldier's backpack and immediately returns to the wall, but that's when the sniper sees him and shoots at the wall, knocking down several bricks. Now in cover, Eyes takes the radio out of the other soldier's backpack and tries to use it, but unfortunately it is also broken. Shortly after, Eyes sees Sergeant Matthew and realizes that he is moving, trying to reach his rifle, so the boy shouts to encourage him and starts talking to the Iraqi to distract him. Thanks to the sandstorm, the enemy cannot see Matthew, and when the sergeant manages to reach his rifle, Eyes shouts to him, informing him of the enemy's position and approximate distance. When the sand cloud clears, the sergeant manages to see the pile of rubbish and fires several shots at the positions where the enemy sniper might be. Unfortunately, none of the shots hit the target, and the Iraqi returns fire, hitting the sergeant squarely in the shoulder. Eyes asks him over the radio to let him live, as the sergeant is no longer a threat to him, and begins shouting at his partner to crawl so he can reach the wall. When he is about to reach it, the bastard shoots him again, hitting him in the head and finishing him off completely. Eyes mourns the death of his friend and begs the sniper to let him go home, but the guy tells him it's too late for that, and that if he really wanted to leave, he would have already left. That's when Eyes tells him the real reason why he's still here, revealing that he was the one who killed his partner Dean. It turns out that after a mission, Dean had approached an enemy body to confirm the kill, but the guy was playing dead, and when Eyes tried to shoot him to save his friend, the bullet went straight to Dean, killing him instantly. Eyes becomes very sad, but the sniper stops talking to him and the boy immediately hears strange noises on the radio, so he knows something is wrong. The boy crawls over to the long-range radio and begins to dismantle the radio he took from the other soldier, trying to repair his own with the parts. When he finished, the radio microphone was still broken, so he couldn't talk, but he could hear everything they were saying. Moments later, Eyes hears on the radio that the enemy sniper was impersonating him, asking the base to come and help them evacuate. It was then that the boy realized that the Iraqi was actually setting a trap for them, luring them in unsuspectingly so he could kill them all. Eyes fell asleep, and later woke up to the sound of a helicopter in the distance. The young man crawls to the edge of the wall and makes a kind of hook with a stick and a rope, which he uses to try to reach the sergeant's rifle. When he succeeds, the boy sees the two rescue helicopters in the distance, and with the intention of killing the enemy and saving his comrades, he decides that the best thing to do is to knock down the wall and try to shoot him. When the cloud of sand disperses, the enemy shoots at him. Eyes manages to see the flash from the Iraqi's weapon through his sights, so he aims his rifle at that area and fires, hoping to hit him. The boy doesn't know if he's hit him, so he stands up to check. Eyes is not shot, but he is not entirely sure he has killed him, and that is when the rescue team arrives and begins the evacuation. As his comrades lift him onto a stretcher, with what little strength he has left, Eyes tries to warn them that the sniper could be alive, hiding in the trash, but his comrades ignore him. The helicopter takes off toward the pile of trash, and the other soldiers assist Eyes with oxygen and 4 fluids. Shortly thereafter, the Iraqi shoots one of the soldiers in the helicopter, and then shoots the pilot, causing the entire crew to crash to the ground in an accident that costs the lives of all the American soldiers. Subscribe and turn on notifications to see more videos like this. Leave a like to help the channel out, and thank you for watching.